thank you so much for joining me this morning. Do you want to give a quick introduction?
Yeah, I'm Hilary Jackson. I am dancing based from my childhood and a dancing teacher. So have always been active and would like to stay so into old age.
Yeah, lots of dancers, either whilst dancing or like post dancing, do lots of Pilates, don't they? Just the balance between the two and the injury prevention. I guess it is, or rehabilitation. Either way, can go both.
Rehabilitation, yes.
Yeah. And you, I believe, were the first person in the tribe a year ago.
Oh, was I?
You were. So, what is your favourite part of the tribe?
What's my favourite part of the tribe? I was very surprised that I could exercise at home but still feel part of an exercise group. I thought that my desire to exercise was all wrapped up with going to the gym and being with people.
Yeah.
So when lockdown came in and that wasn't possible, I thought, am I going to have the staying power to keep exercising at home, which I knew I needed to do because having had a bad back, I knew if I stopped, all my aches and pains would come back.
Yeah.
But I just thought I'm going to have to do this with gritted teeth rather than with enjoyment.
Yeah.
It turned out to be.
Yeah. And I remember there was one point that you were going away, was it in your camper van?
Yes.
And you were still doing bits whilst you were away.
Yes. And you've taught me to exercise outside without embarrassment.
It is a huge, well, for me it was a huge thing to overcome. I can do it in a group with lots of other people around, but to get your mat down and not care what anyone around you thinks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's quite a gift to have, especially if you live like in an area that your neighbours can look out, or
on a campsite where you've got people like
yeah, completely. Oh, good on you. So do you tend to do the classes live, or do you watch them back on demand, or a bit of both?
I would say mostly because I've got lazy during lockdown. My program used to be to get up first thing in the morning and exercise, whereas now I've got a bit lazier. So I tend to get up about 8:30 and do a class. And I have got the classes that I particularly like.
Yeah.
I don't have all the equipment, so I tend not to do the equipment class, but I love the small equipment because I've got all that.
Yeah.
I love the 45-minute one, which I've done this morning.
Good work, well done.
Today's Friday, so that's what's so nice, because there was often at the gym classes that I would have liked to do but couldn't do because they didn't fit in with, obviously at that time my active lifestyle. Now because we're not so active, but equally I do have things I want to do, and I like to walk and things like that. So getting up and doing the class just gets me ready for the day.
And do you find it starts your day in a better headspace, or like better mindset?
Yes, because mostly it stops me thinking about and planning all the rest of the day, which I'm doing first thing in the morning. The head's like whirring.
Yeah.
And doing the class actually just goes, whoa, stop. And sometimes I do find myself in that initial lie down. I'm flicking and I'm thinking, but I'm learning to control that, and give in and say, no, this is my time. It's only half an hour, 45 minutes. That's not much out of the day to do something totally for me.
Yeah, completely, totally for you. And it's so important to do things for yourself, isn't it? Which is really, really hard to do if, one, you're not used to doing it. And we're quite similar, I think, of like, you like to plan and know what you're doing and be here and do this, and your brain just races and races and races. And one, to be able to give yourself permission to do it, and like I love the question that we start every class with of what do I say? What are you going to do for yourself today? And that might even
find
be,
that hard to answer.
yeah, because you don't ever ask it to yourself, and no one ever asks you it.
No, and I've been a mum for 42 years.
Yeah.
And I was a young mum at 20. I've never had that space to think about me. Yeah. Everybody else has always come first. And that's the biggest thing I've learned from being part of the tribe and being with you, is actually it's okay to be selfish.
And I don't think it's even selfish, because if you're making yourself the best version of yourself, if you're putting into yourself, you have more to give everyone else.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely what I'm learning.
So you're actually, whilst it feels very selfish and we can be told it's selfish, you're almost doing it for everyone else.
Yes, I agree, but it's taken me a long time to learn that, 40 odd years.
Yeah, completely. No, good, I'm glad you're learning it though. That's amazing. What 3 words would you use to describe the tribe?
No, this is so difficult.
You can have more than 3. Just throw words
at me. For me, the first word is movement. Giving me movement. And I've got that from being able to exercise virtually every day, because the cost of going to a gym meant I was only doing it maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
And in between that time, you start to seize up, especially when you get older. And just being able to move, and actually for it to be all right for me to move in the direction that I want to move, that my body's telling me.
Yeah, like listening to it. Yeah.
That's the first thing. Being part of a gang.
Yeah.
That sounds awful, doesn't it? Because the gang word is such a bad word, but being part of a gang. And surprisingly finding people on it, like the hairdresser, a receptionist. I know you, I've seen you on Pilates.
Yeah.
And being in a very caring environment.
Yeah, I never ever set it up thinking that the community would be like it is, because I don't think that you can't force a community, can you? It has to just organically build.
Yeah.
And it still amazes me, and it makes me smile so much, especially like when we come together for the master classes, like everyone's getting to know each other and everyone's getting a little bit chattier each time and becoming a bit more confident. And however, people are all over the world now, but I feel like everyone can be in front of me in a room. Like when I teach, I teach as if you're there, because in my mind you are there.
Yes.
Like to a blank screen.
Yeah.
Community is such a big one. It's like an added bonus that's come out of it, I think.
And I think especially because we've been in lockdown and we've not been seeing one another.
No.
And we've not had that community feel. So having it through the tribe has been fantastic.
It's quite a solid community. Like it's there, and I'm here to stay, so it's there to stay. Pretty much. I'm going to ask you one last question. So what would you say to anyone thinking about joining the tribe?
Well, do it now.
Fab answer.
It's great. You will get so much enjoyment, so much personal development from it. That's what I've gained, I think, the most is personal development. You mentioned masterclasses. I can't remember what the first one was. Was it sleep?
Sleep.
The first one?
The first one, yeah.
Now, I wouldn't have joined masterclass, but I have a big issue about sleep. So that made me, that was the impetus to make me join you.
Yeah.
Not the tribe, but the masterclass. And I gained so much from it that it made me think I need to do, you know, I can do this. I can, you know, I've said to you, I find the technology really tricky. So joining you on the on the Zoom for that, with all the faces and all the people, I found really, really tricky. But it made me join all of them now that I've been able to live. That's one thing I do live. And the most productive for me was journaling, which I don't do. I had no comprehension of, but my daughter does it regularly. And I thought I'd do it because maybe I'll get an understanding of why she did it.
Yeah.
Something happened the following weekend after that, and I used some of the journaling techniques, and I think I'd have been a wreck if I hadn't had it.
How amazing. Wow.
So, you know, it was a really good thing. And the product of having what happened was that I needed to write a letter.
Okay.
Yeah. After I'd sent, I showed my daughter, and she said to me, "Mum, that is fantastic. You've got everything down that you wanted to get down. You've been non-judgmental, but you've put your point of view succinctly," which is what I needed to do. And that was fantastic for me. Yeah, and it's made me think, well, you know, if anything like that happens again, I can deal with it rather than go to pieces.
Yeah, like you've got the power within to.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think I'll be a regular journaler, but I've got that tool in my belt.
You need it
if I ever need it.
It's all about the tools. It's like the tools for movement, the tools for like journaling, what you need to do, the little tools for sleep. I mean, we've had loads of masterclasses now. Like, I just want people to take away one small thing from each one.
Yes, my aim is to go out.
Oh, yeah, yeah, one day maybe. I jumped off a not even, it wasn't very high, but it felt so high, off like a quay into the sea the other day, and I had like, jump, like there were steps next to it, so I went up like 2 steps and jumped, and then 2 steps and jumped until I jumped off the top, and I was like, I've done it now, I never have to do it again. And everyone was like, wait till the summer, we're gonna jump off the cliffs. No, we are not. You can. I will watch.
You've done it. That's the thing. I mean, that's what I feel about Go 8. If I can do it, then there's another one ticked off.
Yeah, completely. It's all quite exciting, isn't it? Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Ish.
It's great from my point of view that it sounds as though I'm in decrepit, but at my stage of life, that I can still find exciting things to do.
Oh, 100%. Forever. There's always exciting things to do. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Life is just exciting. It really can be. And thank you so much for your time today. I have got so much from you as well.
You're very welcome. Thank you for starting it.
Oh, my pleasure. I love it. So good.